Hi, my name is Peter. Today we're going to talk about Upkeeper 4.6 and all the features we have added to that version. Stay tuned for more information.
In Upkeeper 4.6, we have focused in four main areas. We have looked at the simplifying onboarding process, the life cycle management part, so that we can take a computer from bare metal and all the way to the recycling stage. We have focused on being more user and less device. We come from a situation where we have worked a lot with devices, but tend to go more and more to the user part. Security, of course, we have addressed also in this new version. When it comes to onboarding, so we have made an integration to Autopilot and Intunes. We know today that we have a lot of customers using Intunes and Autopilot, so we made an integration. If you set up the integration, the Upkeeper environment today, Intune, will start exchange information. And if we see the simplest of the process where a user order a computer, the manufacturer or reseller will register the computer into Autopilot, and it will show up in Intune. When it shows up in Intune and you had set up the integration, it will show up in Upkeeper as well. So when the user gets the computer, they start it up and it will install as it's supposed to do. At the end of the session, Upkeeper client will be installed, and when the Upkeeper client is installed, it will start to communicate with the Upkeeper server. And the thought is that in this step, the Upkeeper takes over and all applications are distributed through Upkeeper. As an administrator, you can administrate every computer, Upkeeper computer or Intune computer, through the same interface, and it's seamless between those systems in one interface. So it's really handy. When it comes to the computers that has been installed through Intune's Autopilot, the only difference between them is the assignment part. The Intune computers have some other properties when it comes to assignment, and it's the Autopilot factory reset, which will actually do the reinstallation of that kind of computers. And the Autopilot setup is another property if you want to take current computers and add them to Intune so that you have them in the same interface there as well. So another feature we added in 4.6 is install application in user context. It's added like a property on the advanced tab at the applications. The application we are looking at here is Spotify. Spotify is a typical application that is really good to install as a user. And in that context, you take that box, install in user context. That's the only thing. And if we look at some computers that has been installed with this Spotify application, we see that the first one has a green arrow, a green checkbox that has been installed. And if we go to that computer, we can see down in the Spotify, down in the application list, we can see Spotify, and we can see that there's a number beside of the check mark, and it says 2. That means that there is 2 users that has installed this application on that specific computer. And if we click on the number, we can see actually exactly which user has installed this application. We can also do a reinstallation of the application if there is some trouble. Maybe the user is called into the help desk and says it's problem with the Spotify. You can reinstall it to make it go again, or you can make a new installation. It may be some fault that you have to install it from the beginning, so to say. So you have a few options. devices per user. We want to see and search for users and see them which devices they have or has been logged into. So if we search for a user, in this case we have searched for Anders, and when we look at the result, we can see that he's registered as a user on the first computer. He's logged in currently on the second computer, and he's the last logged in user on the second and the third computer in the list. So we get all the devices he has been on or are currently logged into. Warranty end date is a request that we had for a long time. We finally added it to the product. So we can see when computers are when the warranty ends and so on. It's all based on the serial number, of course, and the hardware information. So the computers has to be inventoried so that we have the serial number in the system. And if we look at the advanced tab, we can see the warranty end date. Here you can also use reports to get the good baseline of your entire environment and when to change computers and so on. Handling Bitlocker is another feature we have had some requests for during the last few years. So we built it into this 4.6 version. What's happening is when you send a restart to a computer, it will disable the Bitlocker if it's enabled. And if the computer is set to make a reinstall with scratch, we will actually do a backup of the recovery key, and the computer will continue with the task. And when the task is finished, when you have your new installed computer, we will restore the Bitlocker key if it's necessary, and you can start using it as a normal computer after that. So if you want to enable Bitlocker in your environment and you want to be able to restart your computers, this is the version you should install of Upkeeper. Postpone applications is a feature we have had for some versions, but we've added more to it. So now you can specify your own postpone times in minutes, so you can have longer and shorter postpone times. And you have a general configuration part, and then on each application that is postponable, you can choose which postpone times you like. And if you don't select anything, you get back to the standard times as we have set some as presets. So other features in 4.6, we have improved the security on the client API. We have added some hardware information as well, which makes it more hard to mime a computer or try to break something. We have color-coded installation status that will be more clear when you go into a listing of applications. We have added a lot of better error handling in the service operating system in the 4.6. When it comes to bugs, we have added or corrected some bugs as well. We have lifted all the dependencies for the .NET and so on to the latest version. We have fixed the shortcuts so they are creating during installation when it comes to the My Upkeeper, for instance. We have had some long update intervals on the device list, so that we have fixed as well. So now it will be quite fast when it comes to updating that, even in large environments. And we had another small error when it comes to copy computers, where if you canceled when you tried to copy a computer, you were redirected to the device list. Now you will stay on the computer which you are trying to copy. So the main features in 4.6, the integration with Microsoft Intunes, the application installation in user context, You can get the warranty information. At the moment, we have Dell, we have Lenovo, we have Fujitsu, which we can get warranty information from. We hope to add HP in the short future. We have added handling for Bitlocker. We have the color code and installation status, which was a big thing on the last Upkeeper Open. So there you have it. Those are the main features for 4.6. So try it out, install it, and like it.
That's all about 4.6. If you want more information, please visit our website or our support site. If you like what you saw, please hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, do so now. And remember, work less, manage more.